I just wanted to. I also wanted to take some, make some opening remarks. Maybe that for 5 minutes is I should be fine. So, I think we had a wonderful session on Sunday. So, Sony, thank you so much for the branding masterclass. And the key takeaway for the from that masterclass for me was that branding is actually quite organic. It depends on, apart from whatever product or service, how it's evolved, the context, and what is the requirement of the customer. And there are two things that one that happened that week, which was there was a headline which said even Elon Musk needs to make a sales pitch. So we know how Elon Musk treated his customers regarding their presence on X, and he was like, this is a free speech platform, we can do whatever we want to. If you don't like it, you can do what, you can just go off. And then he had to, because he started losing his customers on X, he found that he had to actually come back, and he was at Cannes and he was saying, please give it a try, it's a good platform, it's a free speech platform. So even Elon Musk needs to make a sales pitch. And today we are having the biggest sales pitch globally, which is the debate between Biden and Trump, 9 p.m. Eastern, in case anyone is interested. And I think for both of the candidates, also they need to brand themselves differently from what they have been branding themselves before. So they need to keep the baggage of the past to be able to have some promise of the future. Let's see how it turns out. So whoever is Team Biden, maybe, and Team Trump, we can place our bets and see who wins the debate.
I'm Team Modi.
Okay, but he's not in the debate.
I think there are 3 debates, no? One after the other in the next few days' time, total.
Yes, but today, 9 p.m. Eastern is the biggest one. Is the Biden versus Trump debate. Yeah.
Thing to watch is who forgets his speech more.
I
said, who forgets his lines more.
It is said that both of them will be taking different kinds of drugs to prop themselves up, because one is an octogenarian, Biden is 81, and Trump is 78. I don't know what's that called.
I think septuagenarian, but reaching close to.
I can never pronounce that. So thank you.
Septuagenarian.
While they are debating. So now, who lies more would be an interesting metric to look for.
Yeah. We know who will win on that aspect. So yes.
In India, they will compete with the match. Will not.
I am 9 p.m. Eastern at 6:30 a.m.
So I was confused. Anyway, I think Piyush has joined, right? Yeah. So welcome, Piyush, because Rohit said he's going to leave at 6:30. We thought we'll start off with you.
Definitely. Let me share my screen.
Okay, so while Piyush is doing that, so Sanjeev, thanks for reversing the order. You flipped it 180 degrees, maybe. And what that new list looks like.
Sure. Maybe a random order.
Yeah.
Maybe alphabetic order of the founder's name.
Yep. Whatever suits.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Yeah.
Or a pick from the hat. जिसको भी बुलाओ आ जाए. Harry Potter style.
I think that is a good idea, because then everyone will be a little bit, unsure what is their sequence. So,
yeah, I actually wanted to do that, Raji, but Anjana told me whoever is leading the cohort has to publish the order. I didn't want to publish the order for 1 week. And
maybe Sanjeevji, you could just do that at home and then make a list, a random list.
Okay. But again, when it's a toss-up between saving the time or figuring out whoever you call is not there in the meeting.
No,
So,
not that.
yeah.
What you can do is, right now you can probably give the list next 4 guys instead of just saying that okay, you present next. That might be okay.
Anyway,
All right, shall we get started, Piyush?
I'm ready.
Okay. Please go ahead.
All right. So this week's topic is basically identifying our customers and competitors. Some of the slides in the format were repeated, so I'll skip over them. Basically defining what we do, the elevator pitch, problem, solution. We covered that last week. And we covered till the value proposition statement. So I'll focus on the slides after that. So the first slide that we had to describe is the product. So focusing on the product lineup, what's our form factor, like how do we link it to the value prop and so on. I've put out some points. I'll just cover them a little bit more in detail. So from the money flow, basically in the product lineup, the features and the products that we are providing. For the user, we are providing a zero effort, unified interface of their overall business. So this is a value proposition and a product feature both combined in one. Basically, our customer has to do minimal to no effort, which is just clicking on the connectors and logging in. That's the only effort we want our customers to do. Rest of the data, it's up to them. Other information and analytics to them. So it's going to become it can be pull or push mechanism for them to absorb the data, but they don't have to do anything to get started. And all of their business view will be like just provided in a one place. So no headaches there. Second is accuracy and reliability of business data. We regularly publish like monthly metrics that okay, all your results and it's updated frequently. So all your metrics, all your analytics are very much reliable that you can use them for decision making. The third is as a value prop, we provide alerts, insights, and recommendations to improve the overall business, right? This comes in various forms. Sometimes it's charts, sometimes it's downloadable sheets, right? Or sometimes we send email reports or specific requests if customer wants, we take care of that. So in that format, we could be a product plus services play, which we have done previously, but not charged anybody for it. And finally, we have put a LLM-powered chat interface on which you can ask any question about your business. So whatever business data we have consolidated for you, all of that you can simply ask whatever information you need at that point. In the future, our development roadmap is basically build more integrations so that we can cover a lot more overview of the business and truly become a omni-channel platform. We have to push a lot more of the business context that we have in our dashboards to the chat feature so that its usability increases. We will add or enhance the advertising inventory or return related analysis so that we become more actionable and useful to the user. And finally, more end-to-end agentic task execution. For example, customer wants their headaches to be taken away, that I have some returns, take care of it. Don't tell me about it. Just tell me that, okay, this is the value to prove, instead of them to take some actions. Now, coming to the competitive landscape, I've listed out some of the competitors here. For us, Excel is the biggest competitor because manually people do these jobs typically. But Unicommerce has a Unireco kind of engine, and CoinTab is one of the prominent reconciliation tools out there. CoinTab does reconciliation for multiple different scenarios, not just commerce. We are very e-commerce and vertical focused in that sense. So all of these products can handle multi-channel data, but these products are not fast or require high effort to work with them. The reliability and accuracy is questionable because Unicommerce, CoinTab, famously our customers have told us that they aren't very reliable or the numbers are 95% accurate at best. And on Excel, it's basically human error, whatever human error you can drive, right? Automated workflows, our biggest competitor being Excel, everything is manual, right? Unicommerce, Unireco, basically in particular, Unireco and Quantap have some kind of automated workflows, automated insights, but not to the extent that we are thinking. Finally, on the decision enablement, because this is the key lever for us, that we want our customers to be able to take decisions with it and drive their business growth. So we basically
You
do
have
that
30
better,
seconds.
and Excel.
30 seconds,
Got
please.
it. Sure. This XY view is more about workflow enablement versus single channel, just putting out more global competitions out here. I'll quickly do the customer profile. It's basically an e-commerce brand that operates on multiple channels and runs with more than 10 crore GMV. Our decision makers for the company, founders, PL owners, CPO, CFO, depending on the scale, size, and formal introduction of the size of formality of every function, these decision makers can change. So for a 10 crore brand, it could be a founder, and for a 100 crore brand, it could be a proper CFO or a CVO. Main visionary criteria that we look for is that these guys are forward-looking, they like tech enablement, and want to plug their leakages. And more of the same on this slide. If I have time, I'll cover. We are on mute, Mona. Mona, you're on mute. I think you're trying to speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to check if we can give Piyush another 30 seconds.
Sure, we can go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Piyush, please go ahead.
I'll just cover this slide a little more.
Okay.
Our ultimate decision maker is usually the founder, but if the brand has grown above 100 crore kind of CFO can become the final decision maker for us. The persons who influence the decision could be the CPO or CFO directly. The people who own data management. Depending on the size and scale of operations and the structure of the company, this changes. So that becomes a little bit of challenge for us to identify which person we should reach out to. Don't really have a good answer to that. How do we get through this challenge? Finally, the people who can influence the decision are the people who are going to benefit from these day-to-day jobs. So analysts who have to combine all of these data in one place, or accountants who have to identify reconciliation errors or cash flow issues are the ones who will be influencing the decision. And the benefits they'll get, the influencers will get, is basically their reduced workload, faster data or analytics, and ability to drive decision-making throughout the organization.
Do you have any additional slides, Piyush? That's
it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments?
So Piyush, 2-3 things from my side. One of the thing which you very intrigued to see that bullet where you said there is something which you offer, or decision enablement is fine, but providing more insights and things like that is done today more like a services.
This is where I mentioned that.
Alerts, insights, and recommendations to improve business are more a services than a product feature. Am I right?
That's the status today, because today we are throwing more data than actual insights and recommendations. Our plan is to productize it. And again, it's like I said in the development roadmap, our idea is basically so in the development roadmap, if we get through this second point, enhancing the chat layers features, we won't have to build dashboards for it. So any e-commerce business will have a limited set of questions, let's say 30 to 50 questions that they always want to know. Where can I make more money? Is my advertising on point? Am I losing some revenue out somewhere? So there will be a fixed set of 30, 50 questions that will cover 80% of their use case, right? And additional 20% questions you cannot solve for. So our approach today, at least as of date, is basically just focus on the chat feature, because from the cost side and all, we can optimize for those 30, 50 questions. And either way, whatever is the remaining 20% tail end of the questions that the user might have, we can just use a LLM powered agent, power it. So problem is I cannot push recommendations from my side that I have 100 recommendations today. Here you go. Nobody is going to read that. Every e-commerce player is focused on a specific problem today that, okay, today I have issues with my inventory. Today, my advertising is not on point. So they will ask questions specific to that area. And that's where we feel a pull mechanism is a better approach, that you ask the question that's more relevant to your current context.
Absolutely for recommendations, but I just thought if you have more alerts or insights kind of thing covered in your dashboard, your dependence on so-called influencer in your stakeholders in a company would be lesser. The decision making could be easier at a CXO's level, because that's what they would be interested in, right? They're not interested in the labor involved in doing an analysis. They are invested in speed and availability. So look at it from that perspective, because look, most of the operational guys, yep, they play a role in advocating for it, but they also become a hindrance at times, saying, if this comes in, my role will become limited and I may be redundant.
Correct. I remember last week I was telling the same hindrance came to us.
Okay,
So one of the
great.
big e-commerce players, we got exactly that feedback because we were talking to the operational aspect of the people.
So we can take one
Start your pitch
30-second
at the top.
question.
They are the best buyers for you, in my opinion. And
Thank you,
same
Piyush.
thing again. We can do it later, but look, the idea of, and every time I see this competitive landscape from anybody, I get to see that we are the best, right? Look, it's a good sales story. I would urge you, and I'm again telling all this to all startups here, this is your introspection time, right? Urge you to prepare it in a as reality as possible, to see what you can do to overcome your shortcomings or position your value proposition better. Again, if this is true, wonderful. I'm not questioning it, but all I'm saying is, in last 3 years, I've always seen this chart. I'm green everywhere, others have a problem. So look at that different perspective.
Yeah.
No,
In
I
fact,
think
I have a comment. I have a comment to add here, that I think one of the biggest advantages of Excel is that people are used to it. I have experienced this personally, trying to replace Excel with a product, a simple product, and the users are so used to it. If they change a person, they hire a new person. That guy knows Excel. He can get familiar with the data. He has tremendous flexibility to hide information on that when he's reporting to his bosses. So Excel is a very, very sticky tool. One should just remember that. That's a competition.
That's true.
So if you look at ease of use, if you add ease of use as a criteria, Excel will be pretty high up there.
yeah. Okay.
Like Sanjeev sir mentioned, definitely this, like the points are catered to the point where we come out as the best. Obviously, I have not mentioned the points where we aren't as great. For example, we are limited in the kind of things we can offer today. Excel, you can do anything, right? Today, some new analysis came up. We might not be able to handle it today. Like with a GPT feature, maybe we handle it if we have the data cleaned and processed into our database. But with Excel, you can work with any new kind of data, which could be experimental also. So definitely for things for us to work. For Unicommerce, QuantTab, these guys have distribution already. These guys have good B2B partnerships, right? So that's what we lack in comparison to them.
Maybe you can
Even
just
though
put
their
a
product,
tab like that. I
So,
mean,
Piyush,
this is my strength, this is my weakness. Because it always helps. It might actually put the things in proper perspective.
well, even from investors' perspective, look, when you show a chart like this, they seldom believe it, right? So the better way, in my opinion, is if you know one or two important shortcomings, list that and somewhere in the deck cover how your product roadmap covers it or how your future priority areas cover it, right? Covering distribution or covering some of those product deficiencies is not an eternal problem. As long as you show I'm aware of it and I'm working on it, it'll be looked at much more positively than being silent about it. Then people stop believing you if you don't mention some of those things. And I'm not saying make it a laundry list, but yeah, some of those important ones which you have said, it may make sense to list it and then sort of show coverage of it.
Agreed.
One quick point here. The factors that you have put on the horizontal scale for comparison, two things about it. One, do the customer articulate in that way? I mean, is that the language that he uses? Does it come from him? Number one. And what would be their relative weightage, right? I mean, so these are two things you could look into.
Yes, I contemplate on that thing.
Okay, I think let's move on.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, this is Mohit from Vishwa. My name is next in the list. I have to apologize that we are not quite ready with the complete set of things that was spoken about. But there's one aspect that we are comfortable with, which is around the customers and buyers. And if it's okay, I'll just present that one perspective rather than the complete competitive landscape and things like that. Is that okay?
Mohit, go ahead, because I know you've got a slight handicap right now. We are working on that. Just go ahead on wherever, whatever you're comfortable with.
Sure. So I'll just present this one slide which sort of lists out one of our assistants. Just to recap, Vishwa as a platform, what we are helping customers do, our target personas are product managers and business processes owners, and we are helping them with their productivity. Dex, which is our specialized data entry assistant, helps them in intelligent document processing. So different verticals, different personas will have different tasks. For example, sales order digitization, whether it's a pharma company or any other kind of company which has sales order, you're getting an unstructured document and you're trying to digitize that. Same with menu digitization. You have menus of different kinds, and typically the restaurant POS providers are the ones who are trying to digitize that and bring the restaurant online. So they're the restaurant ops folks. So now coming to the articulation in terms of who's the buyer and who's the user. The users of the tool day to day in all of these things are sort of called out. CC statement digitization actually doesn't need any human involvement in a day-to-day basis. The buyer himself, which is the fintech PM or the lead of the area, would essentially go ahead and make the purchase decision. And then he would set up the system in autopilot to essentially do the digitization regularly with the right integrations. In the menu digitization case, again, the buyer is the ops P&L owner, whose task is whenever they get these tickets or a new user getting onboarded, they are the ones who are owning the P&L to digitize these menu fast. So they are responsible for whether they have an 8-member team or a 15-member team. That person within a company and not the CEO or the CFO is the ultimate decision maker. The team who's using it are actually the operational team within that company that on a day-to-day basis is uploading a menu, getting the output, reviewing it, and then acting on it in their respective workflows. Same with the sales order digitization. The buyer is actually the operations P&L owner, and the user is the sales ops person whose day-to-day task is actually to digitize that document, so to say. Yeah, I'll stop there. I think that's the clarity that I wanted to discuss.
Mohit, two, 3 comments from my side, or rather, yeah. First on this presentation, right? Look, you've used a term P&L owner or sales P&L owner or whatever. Look, maybe it is a valid position in a geography in which you are working, but that may not be valid in all geographies, right? And a lot of times in B2B, the P&L owner is probably a good cog in the chain for buying, but he may have to still go and explain to his CFOs or a decision maker that if he's spending 100 rupees here, how he will reduce 2 people to recover these 100 rupees and sort of present a business case, even though he's a P&L owner. So keep that in mind when you position your product. You may have to still deal with those guys to whom these business cases will go to. And maybe you may have to help them prepare these business cases so that they can take it to their CFOs or CXOs to get this approved.
Got it. So one clarification, Sanjeeva, the way we've been thinking about our product is not enterprise sales. While right now in the phase we are in enterprise sales. And for example, we've been right now dealing with the CFOs and the CEOs or founders of the companies where we are deploying as clients. But the way we envision it is it would be almost a touchless sale. In that perspective, how do you sort of, how should we think about that, like the business case or to be presented to a CFO?
Difficult question. I will have to think through it, Mohit, very, very honestly. I'm a B2B person, so all my answers come from B2B perspective.
Sure.
But I think over it. And that was my second point. I know you're missing your mentor for whatever reasons. So in the interim, if you need somebody to spend some time on how to go about a few things in this cohort or any idea, I'll be happy to spend about an hour a week with you guys till Anjan comes up with a replacement mentor.
No, good luck to work with you, sir.
So as I said, I really need to learn and brainstorm along with you guys if you have a different thought process. My thoughts, because you started using terms like P&L owner and all that, I sort of presumed you're working in a B2B environment.
So it is B2B, but
it is B2B, but touchless, face-to-face. Yeah, understand. Okay. Just a thought, maybe some case studies which gives them this example of business cases. So such and such thing happened in one of my client, kind of a stuff, right? It may give an idea to whoever is buying in terms of advocating his purchase and taking approval.
Right.
That's one thought.
Yeah. Those are good examples that are there on the sites for small ticket item sales. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? If not, then we'll move on to the next one. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So we have Ashwini IntelliSyst. Ashwini, are you there?
Yeah, I can see him. He's probably trying
I messaged him as well to let him know that he's after Mohit.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Is that an OG move of emerging like that? Your assistant emerges, right? Used to on Windows. Yes, Ashwini? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
So welcome, and the floor is all yours.
Thanks. I'll just start presenting. Let me just share my screen. I didn't realize that it's my turn, so really sorry. Hi, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. First of all, really sorry. I didn't realize that next is my turn. Yeah. So, this is the elevator pitch of IntelliAssist. So IntelliAssist uses AI to create dynamic stored files, offering real-time personalization for each visitor. This unique approach enhances return on ad spend by 20 to 50%, significantly boosting your marketing efficiency and profitability. So try to concise everything into these two lines, whatever we do, and try to make it easy to understand. Hopefully it is easy to understand. I'll come to the next slide. Yeah. So when it coming to the customer pain point, I think the biggest pain point, most of the e-commerce, especially the smaller brands are going through is increase in the customer acquisition cost. Just to give you an example, just Facebook ads cost has increased about 89% in a year. And they all are struggling how to acquire customers. And everybody is trying to optimize at the top of the funnel because mid-funnel optimization, there are not many solutions available. And currently, how they do is they try to optimize the ads as much as possible, optimize their budgets, or one big thing which is happening right now is that most of the brands are shifting to the marketplaces because when they're putting the ads, they are not able to get their ROI. While marketplaces like Amazon and Flipkart, their ROAS is better than their own platform. And typically, even you see that even some of the larger brands also, at 80% of their revenue coming from the marketplaces. So they're too much dependent on marketplace. The challenge with the marketplaces is that one is their profitability also low on these platforms. Second thing is the marketplace doesn't share the customer data, so they don't have any control on the customer experience or how the customer behaves. So yeah, that's the challenge. Yeah, so I have just value prop I have just written in a line that and that's what we tell to our customers, that we improve the profitability without increasing the marketing budget. So the marketing budget remains the same. The marketing channels mostly remains the same. Where we do is we do optimization where most of it, the part of the funnel, which most of them doesn't optimize. Yeah, that's our value proposition side. Our product helps D2C e-commerce companies who wants to improve their ROAS by helping them converting more anonymous visitor to the customer by optimizing their acquisition funnel. Unlike just trying to optimize the customer acquisition cost at the ad channel, because there is a limit until you can optimize the ads, and it's mostly driven by demand and supply on the ad networks. Any questions so far? I'll just go to the product.
Another 30 seconds, Ashwini.
Okay, great. So product lineup, it's a plug-and play application for e-commerce brand. So basically, for shopping, for example, we have one-click integration. And it doesn't require developers involvement. Any non-tech guy can do it. And for the other platform, we have a one-line embeddable script which takes only 5 minutes to configure. And the customer can control the UI and configuration of each component from an admin dashboard. They don't have to have any support required from our side if they want to do it on their own. And all the user interaction done by IntelliAssist on their website using our component can be tracked by the dashboard. So we can see that, which of our component has, interacted with the user and how much they have impacted and so on and so forth. Okay. Sorry, this site is not completed because I was still doing more research on the competitors, but I'll just summarize it. Basically, our majority of our competitors are really large businesses. So, for example, Dynamic Yield and Product Genius are basically enterprise players. And when it comes to the personalization, personalization is an old industry. This started almost around 10, 12 years back when cookies technology started advancing. So, these companies mostly use cookies in order to do the personalization. And because there is a lot of demand around personalization, all of them are, having more than $1 billion valuation, and mostly serving to the enterprise clients. There is a news, if we are able to become really big, we will have to get into the same market which they are doing, and we'll have to replace them hopefully. And of course, I know that won't be easy. From the sales perspective, we'll have to, get into that kind of sales force or. But in terms of technology, I think this is a totally different new approach than what used to happen in 12 years back. So hopefully we'll be able to get into enterprise level. As of now, we're not focusing on enterprise level. As of now, we're focusing mid market. And in the mid market, there is a company called Format Commerce, which is a competitor. They have about $30 million funding based out of US only. When compared to them, so basically the uniqueness of uniqueness or the advantages in terms of technology only, that our product is better in terms of modularity, in terms of how it is interacts with the user, because they don't have a dynamic UI components which can interact and which can be controlled by an AI. They mostly focus on the mobile experience. But having said that, it's not the best software with sales. So again, we will have to work on our sales team and our go-to-market in order to to compete with them. Yeah, really sorry about the slide.
Right. Ashwini, that was 7 minutes. Just letting you know. And is that your last slide, or do you have something else to show as well?
No.
This is your last slide? Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments?
I think Rajiv has raised his hand. So
Yeah, hi. Can I go ahead? Yeah. Hi. So, Mohit, so Ashwin, one thing is that there are two aspects of this program. One is that to understand your gaps and how much you need to fill the gap. Okay? The gap in terms of business plan, your product, etc. The whole thing. The second thing is to create a system for you to follow, so that you'll be much better at running a venture. So it's very important that you follow that. That's one thing. Every week you have to do this assignment. It's very important. Okay. There is a limit of research that you can do within a week's time. You will not get a week. You may hardly get 2 or 3 days to do it. The idea here is that you follow these steps, you follow the framework, and try to identify some part of, for example, if you're the competition, you can identify some part of the competition, right? You cannot do the whole thing, right?
Absolutely.
And it's a journey, and every week you go, you might get more information which you put into it. But you have to do this.
Absolutely.
Because without completing this, you cannot go to the next stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So every week, it's a follow-on of the previous week. So this is very important, that this is not only for you, but for everyone else. And most important, the second thing is, it's very important that your audio and your net is good. You may need to take a backup because there was a lot of disturbance from your side in audio. I don't know if I was the only person hearing it, but last week also I had that. Maybe it's your headphone, whatever it is. You need to invest in a good headphone, a good mic for this, because if you don't do that, you will be the loser during the demo day. Okay, this is very important. Right? So
You've touched
this is all I have.
Thank
Thank you.
Rajiv, you've touched a very sensitive point.
I just thought I'll be the bad cop and
No,
you be the good cop.
I know. All of us are absolutely used to using the last minute to do our exams and assignments. So just keep in mind, some of these assignments are long-term assignments. So it's better not to wake up and start doing on the Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. See it tomorrow itself. See in the Friday itself. Just have a look at it so that you know what to expect rather than doing it at the last moment.
Anjanta, just to say that every week I have a program with my mentees that we have 3 sessions. So tomorrow, Friday, we'll have a session at the same time. Then we meet again on Monday and we meet on Wednesday. 3 days. The last session we had 4 days, four meetings. Okay, so this has to be a important investment for you as well as your mentor is going to putting in a great deal of effort for you. So you need to appreciate it and you need to put in that effort. I'm sure you may have a lot of questions. That's always there. Nobody's going to be perfect, but we have 12 weeks to make up for that. But you need to do it in a proper way. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashwini. I hope there are no other comments or questions because its time is mostly up. But maybe if there is any last comment or something, we can take that up. No? Okay. Thank you, Ashwini. We have Tanmay next with Goldfish.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I hope my screen is visible. So I'm Tanmay and Vivek, both of us, Vivek is also there in the call. Both of us are founders of Goldfish. So we provide warehousing and logistics services for omni-channel. These are the initial slides that we presented last time. So I'm just skipping the problem and the solution part. And we had arrived at our value proposition statement last time. So I'll start with the product. So basically, we want to build this product that is a managed service delivery network. On one hand, you can see the client. The client will get a simple app that is easy to use. The client need not take the headache of managing people or the technology of managing multiple warehouses. That includes technologies like order management system or warehouse management system and training the people, so on and so forth. But he'll get a simple app where he can just simply place orders. The data will flow into our control center where we will have our team that will be operating the product. That product will enable us to operate a network of warehouses across India that is in an asset-light mode across different sales channels, which is omni-channel is what we are saying. So essentially, we are trying to build a tech platform that will offer a managed service provider model for the customer. Now, converting that into the features that this product will have, basically it is the architecture of the product which will enable us to run remote control warehouses, that to outsource warehouses and shared warehouses. So that is the first feature. The second feature is the mobile app, which will make it easy to place orders, and obviously it will have all the a live visibility of the inventory and everything for the customer. Then a combined system for omni-channel, which means the traditional 3PL and the e-commerce inventories, orders, everything will be controlled from a single system. You can add and remove warehouses, which is basically the ability to scale up and scale down multiple warehouses or the area that is occupied in the warehouse, to optimize your costs. The next point is basically the platform will come with a network of service providers that will provide not just a network of service providers that will provide different kinds of services pertaining to supply chain, which is not just the warehouse, but also transporters and other allied services. So this will become a single platform for the entire supply chain operation of our clients. The last feature, which is an important value-added service, which we are branding it as an online sales acceleration program. where we will implement distributed warehousing for our customers. And when that is coupled with marketplace store optimization, the revenue will grow and the cost will reduce. So we are trying to move ourselves from a cost center to a real value added service that will enable the growth of our customers. So for these features, we have tried to identify certain categories of competitors. So we have identified 5 types of categories of competitors. The first competitors are e-commerce fulfillment companies. The second category are logistics tech companies or tech companies who are in the logistics space, who are now backward integrating into warehouse and e-commerce fulfillment. Then there are pure aggregators of warehouses that are tech driven. That is the third category. The fourth category are large traditional 3PL companies. And the fifth category is are the big marketplaces who have the warehousing infra, but they are not offering omni-channel services. But in the future, they may offer omni-channel services to the customer. So for these different categories of customers, we have tried to map the specific features that our particular product and service we are trying to give. A little bit about our customer. Our ideal customer would be someone who would be selling heavy and bulky products, but they are not mega brands. So categories like sports and fitness, furniture, or mattress would be an example. Who is your user? So basically the supply chain manager is our user. Our buyer would be either the business head or basically a owner if it's a small company, but somebody who's in charge of the P&L. The list of the criteria for really visionary customers is someone who is willing to embrace new technology and new solutions. So especially from startups, willing to break out of the traditional 3PL, the distributor CFA kind of model, and companies who are embarking on a digital transformation journey within their supply chain network.
You are at the 5-minute mark. Maybe you can have 30 seconds more.
Yeah, this is my last slide. So ultimately, who makes these decisions? So mostly it is done by promoters, because deciding to start or shut down a warehouse has it's the entire supply chain is designed on that. So it's either the business head, supply chain head, or the promoter who advocates purchasing the product. It will be either the supply chain or the e-commerce team. Usually the decision is influenced by supply chain consultants who are hired by these firms to advise them. And yeah, so the project success and the value delivery of the consulting, the supply chain consultant is a motivating factor to make sure that that they take this decision. So yeah, that's my presentation for today.
Thank you. And any questions for Tanmay? Any questions, comments?
Can I go? No. So,
yes, please.
Tanmay, look, 2-3 comments. One is on the presentation, very, very verbose. So it was difficult to absorb it and understand a good part of it.
Okay.
Try and see if how you change it to highlighted bullets, because there is a lot of things which are important, but too many words around it, in my opinion. So it was very difficult to look at it and understand anything. Whatever you speak, I can understand, but beyond that, I had no energy to look at the slide deck. That's one. Second, somewhere, and I may be wrong in this because I couldn't comprehend it well, but I felt you have all kind of competitors. There was no column for you there, right? So you had 5 categories of competitors, but where you stand on those parameters, you are green everywhere or not understood. And same comments which I made to Piyush. Usually we end up showing only that where we are scoring better, right? But at the same time, I somehow felt that you're trying to do everything. And that's probably your value mark, that yeah, I do everything, vis-a-vis others who are doing only a piece of the jigsaw puzzle. And when I look at your customers are also all kind of, when anybody and everybody could be your customer looking at your definition on the chart. Right? Now, the question to anybody who needs logistics or a warehouse is your customer, the way you are defining it. You may use different words, e-commerce firm or a supply chain, because if somebody needs logistics, and a warehouse, he probably has a supply chain, right? So all I'm trying to say is you'll have to think that at this stage, do you want to focus on anything and everything in the market, or do you want to focus on a part of the market? Because I'm not sure whether you will be able to afford spending energy and money on everything in the market. That's my comment. Again, I don't want a reaction to this. Think about it. And you can, if see merit in it, adjust accordingly in your future thought process.
Seems that goldfish is fishing for everything. Okay.
Good humor.
Any other comment?
I have a very short thing. I
Yes.
just want to, while I do share some of the points raised by Sajivji, I would also want to say that this is a very cluttered market. I mean, there are a lot of other players who are doing the same thing that you're doing, providing integrated services for the logistics and warehousing sector. But this is a very capital intensive sector. At the same time, there are a lot of regulations and quite a lot of compliance also when it comes to different products that you have over there. So this is something that you need to. I'm sure that you have understood that and you're looking into it. But the problem that I see is that while I don't see a concrete strategy coming out in your presentation, maybe you have it, maybe you're not articulated well, but that is something that you need to look at because the strategy will also define your target customer, your target go-to-market strategy, your competition, identification of the competitors, and quite a lot of those things. That's a big gap over there that has not come out very well. Maybe you need to sit down with your mentor and try to articulate that properly. The biggest challenge over here, and something that is not clear from the presentation, is that how are you going to compete in this capital intensive space? I mean, you can't do it with money alone. You need much more than money to survive here and also to compete with others. There are other players who are using technology, who are aggregating resources, and there's a lot more innovations happening, and especially in the USA. You could basically study that. So maybe in a couple of weeks you'll be able to have much more refined and polished presentation. Try out a better script. This is what I have. Thank you, Tanmay.
Okay.
Thank you, Rajiv, and thank you, Tanmay, for that.
We have
Next.
Sanya and
Yes.
Tirumala wanting to make some comments.
Yep.
Hi, I think, can you guys hear me first of all, Mona?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Tanmay, I'm betting big on your business. I actually went back to look at the business itself, and I think it's like what Rajiv said, at least India, I do feel this is a game-changing space, and especially the warehousing part of it and the technology solutions around that, those are really going to be pretty impactful. Having said that, I do think when you're talking about a journey as this, it's very important to understand your growth strategy. And it needs to start from your understanding of what is your growth strategy. Is it product led? Is it acquisition? Really having clarity of for which one of these you're applying what kind of growth strategy. And thereby then what's your strategy for customer acquisition, the pricing and all of that. I think when you were going through this, it felt like it was everywhere. But for someone who goes through your website and then looks at competition and understands this, there's a lot of potential as well. So I think if there's one tip I could give, is to really start from top as to what is that growth strategy for your immediate 1 years, 2 years, and how are you going to do that in terms of executing that. And then the narrative seems to be everywhere. I think if you can qualify your narrative with quantitative outcomes, by doing so and so, we are either going to change the game around the cost or the revenue or the the throughput, productivity. By quantifying that, what is it today and how is it going to change the game when you bring these solutions and for who? I think it becomes a lot more powerful. And this, I think, holds good for pretty much everybody else who's presenting as well. But I'm betting big and rooting big on your solution here. So I'd love to see that evolve in the next couple of weeks.
Tirumala?
Yeah, I'm asking a slightly fundamental question. If the space is so intensive in terms of competition, I mean, as somebody, you are so accomplished, the founders, why should you even invest? I mean, why should this use case matter? Why should this space matter out of everything else you can pick? I know there is sunk cost of whatever is a sectoral experience and the time that went in, right? Why does it matter? I mean, I'm not bothered about the how you will execute, but why? Why should it matter?
So you're saying that why have we chosen this as a market, or
Yeah, especially with the competitive picture that is there. Why this?
see, firstly, okay, so there are multiple ways of looking at it. Firstly, it's that okay. So firstly, it's a huge industry. I mean, it's almost $400 billion industry, and it is I mean, the rate of growth of this industry. I mean, it's a very crucial sector in the overall growth of our economy, to say. And it complements a lot with various initiatives like Make in India, pushing exports, and a lot of these challenges or inhibitions for businesses to grow happens due to inefficient supply chains. And transport is something that that there are a lot of solutions available in the market for, but there are very few solutions around warehousing in the market. So that is something that we realized, and especially after COVID, because of the huge growth in the e-commerce, that itself has posed a lot of challenges, again keeping warehousing at the center, because this kind of process was not there for the last, say, 10-20 years, when the logistics sector sort of boomed in India. So looking at all these two to three factors, we think that this is definitely an industry that it makes sense to be in this space and try and solve certain problems.
No, I get it, Dhanmai. I mean, the space is big, the scope is big. I'm asking a very, very fundamental question. I mean, as two human beings, as two people who are founders, is this the best investment of your time? I mean, it's not, an answer is not for me. It's for you to deeply reflect on it.
So maybe next time they will have some time to think about it.
And
Yeah.
I think one more important point is why you? What do you bring to the table? That's, I think, is an equally important question.
That's
So,
right.
No, I think if they answer that question, this question, they will be able to get the right answer.
Right. All right, so Pushkar has been waiting for some time, and I know that he's been ready from the start. So Pushkar, he's over to you now.
Thanks, Mona. Let me share my screen, and I hope it's visible.
It is. Absolutely.
Okay.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So, all right. Thanks. So yeah. Good evening, everyone. And this is Fusion, and so I'll start with an elevator pitch. Fusion is a no-code platform which helps non-technical users, non-programmers to build simple web apps and in quick time and at very low cost. So our target customers are non-technical SaaS founders and small businesses who are struggling to find reliable and capable developers. And presently, if they go to a developer agency, they'll face high upfront costs. So they want a way to get their software developed in quick time and at low cost. That's where Fusion comes in. So Fusion helps them to avoid high upfront costs, minimize the risks of getting into a new business, or minimize the risks of digitization, so they can manage their capital more efficiently. If it's a SaaS founder that we're talking about, he can manage his starting capital to get early customers, get early validation, get some traction, and maybe raise some capital to grow his business. So that brings us to our value proposition. We are a no-code platform helping SaaS founders and small business owners to build simple web applications without coding. We help them to minimize their software development costs. We help them to get most of their most bang for their buck, and we help them by circum navigating the traditional means of software development. So what is our product? It's actually a no-code platform. So we provide a bunch of no-code tools on our platform. So whenever you're building any apps, you'll need a database, a UI, and some workflows. So we have no-code tools where you can drag and drop, plug and play between different no-code blocks to build your app. We also provide very robust third-party integrations, and we have also started adding a lot of AI integrations to our platform. So traditionally, there were a lot of limitations to no-code platforms. So you only had to work with what you were given. AI is minimizing all those limitations. So today, if you add a no-code block to your app, you can also ask AI to customize that block for your as per your requirement. So that is what we are also doing. And we also help users to customize their app, to white label it. And what we are helping them to build is full-fledged and fully scalable SaaS products. So we help them do that with code editors. So any code that is written by our no-code tools can be further edited by someone who knows programming. So that also gives them 100% flexibility and 100% control over what they're building. In future, we are planning to build a community around our platform, also a framework for freelancers to build and sell no-code components from our platform. We are working very hard on improving the AI integrations. Currently, it's at 20% of what it should be. In next few months, we are planning to take it to 100% capability. And finally, we also plan to enable any entrepreneurs who are building their SaaS apps on our platform. We can also help them with monetization through simple tools like email sequences and SEO tools. These would also be additional revenue channels for our platform. So no code has been around for a while, and it's a competitive space to be in. There are a few companies that are heavily funded. So how do we compare with them? So if you look at platforms like Bubble might be the closest competitor that we face in the no code space. So Bubble, if you go to Bubble, you can develop landing pages, you can develop websites, you can develop portals. So it is a very versatile platform. But because of that versatility, it is high versatility. But because of that versatility, it is also very complex to learn. So the difficulty, time, and ease of use is very low. So difficulty is very high. In our case, we are only focused on micro SaaS and SaaS applications. So our platform is not very versatile. It's very focused on a niche, but that makes our platform very simple to use. So we like to benchmark our. Okay. So that's what the competitive landscape looks like. Where we do better is narrow focus and easy to learn. So these are our ideal customers. SaaS founders and small businesses are our ideal customers. And in most cases, they are the people who will pay for the software. So buyer happens to be the customer in our case. But there might be some different users. So small business owner might hire a freelance developer to build his app on our platform. So developer might be a user in certain cases. And these developers can also exercise certain influence in case of platform selection. So yeah, so that this is what the decision making unit looks like. In most cases, business owners are the final buyers and the users, but they can also be influenced by software developers.
Thanks, Pushkar. Just for your information, that was 6 minutes.
Okay.
Because we have a few dropouts today, I think we're still able to manage on the time. I don't know if I will get flack for all my time management. I'm giving extra time to everybody, but this was just to let you know. So
Okay.
I'll before I invite others for any comments or questions, let me just start with a couple of things. One, really appreciate that you were ready from the start, and you were good to go. It was like 0 to 100. You were asked to come in and you were ready to present, and that's excellent. And we've been seeing there have been a little, a few hiccups here and there with the other presenters, so that was excellent. And I'm just nitpicking out here, but I think the first two slides are, if you just share the first slide, the second slide, and then the third slide is there. No, after this, yes. So between the first slide and the third slide, I think because there is a bit of repetition on the aspects, it's almost redundant. So you might look at reducing your deck by one slide, and maybe you will gain 30 seconds extra.
Sure,
just a small point, that's all.
Yeah.
So any comments or questions now? I think Sanjeev may be having some.
Look, I'm mentoring Pushkar, and I didn't get an opportunity to see the final product. So making some comments where Pushkar may feel that why didn't I tell him earlier kind of a stuff, right? So look, again, it's a crowded space. We moved on from a SaaS founder MVP kind of a space to a more generic space. So I think that's a good thing. But what I feel here, Pushkar, is the biggest thing you will have to think about is the beauty of simplicity may also limit potential of growth in future. So you'll have to some stage start looking at is, look, yep, I have given up complexity. It's good to onboard new founders with simplicity, but eventually they will have to also grow and add stuff in their platform. So maybe valid, may not be valid, but think about it from a market limitation perspective, if it limits your market. Yep. Second thing, look, the thing which you showed in visionary customers are more your influencers to a visionary customer. For you, typically a visionary customer still will be folks who are, when we discussed that, the discussion was more about, SaaS which are getting incubated somewhere. So they can give you a network effect rather than an incubator. Incubator, yes, you can talk to them and help them create a network, but more people who are in those kind of networks are going to give you a better effect in terms of creating a network. Yep. That's about it. I don't think Pushkar wants to hear me anymore. So I would welcome.
I think we have a question from Gautam.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Pushkar. Just a couple of comments. is, you mentioned that you have a lot of flexibility in the backend. And
Yes.
then you also mentioned that it is very easy to use. Yes, this table. So my question is that you have to see, maybe you've already seen that, is that if because it's so easy and its backend is flexible, is it easy to copy? I mean, can somebody copy it? Is it like, do you have something to protect people from copying exact or similar solutions and offering it at a different rate, cheaper rate? So is there a competitive advantage? So that is one question I have. Second question is, you mentioned that it is it is essentially a framework and it is small, correct? You put here no code tools. So I am assuming that this will be when somebody is starting, and you said people who are starting and things like that, and it's going to be probably a cheaper option.
Correct.
So when they upgrade to more complex usage, whether they want some payment portals or they want some other things on their website, will you be able to help them upgrade? And if you will help them to upgrade, are there tools for that? And then the last thing is, I think you mentioned it, and I think maybe Mona mentioned it, that you have the features, and you had somewhere else one more thing. No, one more slide. I think where you put the benefits. I think there was one features, roadmap, value proposition. Yeah, so just simple. So when you look at this one, this is where I was coming from. That you said you will be building simple web apps without coding. So does it become? Should it? I mean, it should not become commoditized. So I'm
Yes.
just asking you to think through that, and maybe whatever response you have.
Okay, understood. So I'll speak about the first point where we speak about copying the solution, or is there a moat? Can we build a moat around the platform? So it's quite challenging to build a moat in the product itself, because if you build something, it is more or less likely to be copied tomorrow. If it's working, if it's valuable, people will copy it. The moats can come in different formats. However, having a strong community of users, having a very strong AI and fine-tuned AI model in the backend could be difficult to copy, because again, this AI fine-tuning would be done with data. So if we're able to grab some early data and fine-tune our model properly for certain use cases, of course, then that gives us a moat. So moat could come in these formats, but it's very difficult to have a moat in the product features itself. Then the second question, I think, was around backend flexibility. So backend flexibility is something is a differentiator right now. If we compare it with other platforms, we have backend flexibility that is actually a differentiator, and that also relates to your third question about scalability. So you were asking about, so someone starts developing an app on our platform because they're just looking to develop an MVP. But what happens after they get their first, let's say, 500 users, and now they want to really optimize the code? So we have given them a backdoor to certain parts of the code base, which could be customized by a developer. So they shouldn't leave the platform. The platform could, they can still continue on this platform and scale up. And this is something that we have done, which I've not seen on other platforms. That gives us a differentiator. Could even be a moat in the very short term. But I don't. In the long run, the moat would have to come something outside of the product, maybe community, maybe AI or something. But right now, I don't have a very strong answer for moat. But we have some features which are differentiated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Does it answer your question, Gautam?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I know he's still working on it, so it's a little too soon. See, I'm also not expecting all the answers. It's also that I'm raising questions so that he starts thinking about it for the future.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes. Right. So in case there are no other comments or questions, because this one has taken some time, so we are almost like 5 minutes overdue. So if there are no other additional comments or questions, then I'll invite Yali to come in. Fabiusis? Yes. Oh, Yati. I'm sorry, Yati.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Sorry, I was on mute. So, hello everyone. My name is Yati Gupta. Today, I will talk about how our product and company is positioned in the market through features, advantages, and customers. Okay, so since I was not present last time, I will just briefly go through like what our company is doing. 30-second pitch. Yeah, so we make antimicrobial hospital supplies like bed sheets, surgical gowns, and drapes, and help prevent infections in patients, especially antimicrobial resistant infections. And our innovation is an antimicrobial fabric called Fabium, which is the most efficient, most affordable, and safest antimicrobial fabric in the world. And we have been supported by Department of Biotechnology and Pfizer to make this product, and we are currently in the process of piloting in hospitals in Delhi to increase the quality of patient care there. So here is the problem that we are tackling. So infections during and after surgery are very common. This actually causes a financial burden on patients as well as hospitals. And hospitals are having difficulty in gaining patients' trust for quality of care. And they want solutions to enhance this patient care. So that's where we come into the picture. We make hospital supplies that destroy more than 99.9% of the pathogens, which creates a sterile area around the patient during surgery and actually help to prevent unnecessary infections in patients. And other part of the solution is that infections during critical cases like neurosurgery or in cancer patients which are severely immunocompromised can be fatal to them. And our Fabium hospital supplies like surgical drapes actually help in preventing those infections during surgeries and afterwards to better their recovery. So, and here is all value proposition. So our products, which are antimicrobial hospital supplies, actually help patients who want to prevent infections during surgery by reducing exposure to incoming infectious pathogens and enhancing their recovery. Unlike traditional hospital consumables, which just act as a physical barrier and do not help in infection control. So so here is the form factor and everything of our product. So we basically make the end product, which is ready to use hospital supplies. And our functionality is like antimicrobial functionality, which is high performance. And we provide two kinds of features. First is the chemical barrier, which is the antimicrobial barrier. Second is the physical barrier, which is like a lamination kind of a thing, which prevents bodily fluids, which is like a separation barrier between that patient and the doctor who is treating the patient. And we are protected by trademarks, and we are in the process of filing one patent for our manufacturing process. And this is how we developed. Initially, we developed the formulation, then we moved ahead to the fabric, then we developed hospital supplies, then we got clinical testing and preclinical validation for our products, and now we are in the process of piloting directly to the customers. Yeah. So here is our how we are sort of placed in the market. As I told that traditional hospital supplies are just kind of a physical barrier. We provide both physical and chemical barrier. So ours is an antimicrobial barrier, which creates a sterile zone around the patient and prevents infections and also help in better recovery of the patient. And essentially, we are making hospital supplies. In addition to that, we also have physical barrier, which prevents direct contact of bodily fluids between and sort of a barrier between the patient and the doctor and nurses, etc. So here is our competitive landscape. So there are many companies who have come into this antimicrobial space. And like there are several parameters on which we differentiate from, in which we differ from them. The first is the performance. So as we claim that we are the highest performing antimicrobial supplies in the market, as you can see, there are a couple of companies who come close to us, like 3M and HiQ. So HiQ is like a chemical supplier, antimicrobial chemical manufacturer, and they supply these chemicals to textile industries. And we are the most affordable in the market. And one USP of our also product is that we are reusable. So you can wash our hospital supplies again and again if that is made up of cotton, and the hospital allows that. And that's how you can, in the longer run, the cost actually comes down also. And we are also a clinical fit in addition to 3M because our end product is actually these hospital supplies, and all other companies like HiQ, Microban, and Sanitized, they develop these chemicals only, and they just supply it to the manufacturers only. And our end product is, of course, these hospital supplies. One thing where we are lacking, and we are in the process of like overcoming that, is the product distribution. And because all of these are like full-fledged companies, they have like decades of experience in shutting up these product distribution channels, and we are in the process of doing that. So in some way, we are also trying to partner with them to overcome these hurdles. So our ideal customers are basically hospitals who have these surgical wards, and our end users are patients who are undergoing surgery. So that is our niche area because we focus on surgical site infections. And our buyer are the hospitals who have the surgical wards. And our visionary customers are those hospitals who are actually interested in creating a brand among the patients and who want to provide this quality care, not just like competing in a commoditized market. Yeah. So our major decision stakeholders who influence the decisions to purchase the product are hospital administration, head of departments of individual departments, and purchase department. And hospital administration and head of departments plus patients actually advocate for these kind of products. And hospital department plus HODs plus patients in some cases also have a influence on whether to buy these hospital supplies or not. There are also differences based on the geographic dependencies are there. For example, in North India, hospital administration is more active. In Southern India, HODs are more active, something like that. And financial incentives are, of course, a motivation for every hospital. And of course, professional branding, personal branding, plus patient choices, because they also care about patient recovery and all, are also the motivations behind this kind of purchase decisions. Yeah. So that's it from my side. Thank you. I will be happy to answer any more questions.
Yes, Yati, thank you for that. That's actually 6 minutes, but I got busy in something, so I'm sorry for that. Can I start with, or maybe Gautam, would you like to have put in your comments, suggestions? Because I have some definitely I have some questions around this.
So Mona and the others, I've not had a chance to have a long chat with Yati. I just spoke to him briefly last week because he's not been well. So what I'm going to say is probably meant for Yati, and for the others also can see. So I think there'll be some correction. So Yati, maybe we could have done one-on-one, but so we can just say is that we have to look at first disclosure. Disclosure is Yati put the list of competitors, and the one he put is the one I had started from scratch and led to this position in the country in my previous life. So 3M. So I had built this business I started. So that's a disclosure. So now here I think the issue is Yati, the decision makers are not patients. Patients have no role to play. So we have to figure it out. So in most hospitals, it might be infection control committee or the clinical or the surgeon consultant. So that we will discuss. So that is one aspect. The second thing is we have to see on the value proposition that it has to help in the clinical outcome, because it doesn't have to help the patients. Because you are never going to reach the patient. It's a B2B business, so patients are not in contact. But so those things I will discuss with you, Yati. There are a couple of other things. But overall, my view is for the people who are on the call is based on my background that there is a great, it's a great product. There's a lot of opportunity for this product. There's a lot of need for this product. The only thing we have to see is, and it's a unique thing which he's talking about, the reusability. If the reusability and the cost means the market will expand a lot. The critical question is the selling cycle is long and the distribution is important. So these are a little bit of a challenges, but I'm just going to hold it there. Yati and I will have a separate discussion on this, but open to comments from the others.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Gautam. So Yati, I'll start with a couple of small points first. There is your product slide. There's your product slide, yeah. And you put in link it to problem and value prop. Is that a typo, or is that something that you wanted to put it in here?
So it was a question from the template. It's a part of the template.
That's like a guidance.
Right, right. Okay, okay. So the questions are there, but I have just kept it as usual. So
Okay.
like I will modify it. I
Yes,
understand. Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. Second thing is, you know, I come from a biotech background and biochemical engineering background myself. And what, you know, leaps to the eye in all of this is like, this is a fantastic product, you know. So far, uh, a lot of things were going wrong in hospitals, and hopefully this will try and help reduce all of that infection and associated uh, fatalities or infections out of that. Okay, but what I'm missing is, you know, the what is your delta or beyond delta improvement of the product, you know. So what is the status quo in terms of the hospital nosocomial infections as of now? So while it, you know, the claim is 99.9%, where do hospitals stand now? And in hospitals also, there are, you will need to define, are we talking about, you know, the large hospital chains like Apollo and, you know, all the others that you have, or are we looking at, you know, what level, mid-level, you know, clinics, nursing homes, things like that? So where exactly are we for this?
Right.
And a big component of that would also come from, as Gautam mentioned very rightly, that, you know, what is the cost of this? Because this is a B2B business, right? So, and then my last point is around the competitive landscape. It just seems that other than 3M, there is no other competitor. And while it'll be good to understand that currently, say in India, who are the 5 top, you know, hospital suppliers? Are these really the hospital suppliers, or have you taken them because your product seems to be better than what they are offering? You know,
Right,
so
okay.
I'm missing the specificities. I'm missing the details out here.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Really.
understand. So I will answer every question. Okay. So first I will come to that 99.9%. So our efficiency is 99.9% of the pathogens are getting destroyed within 30 minutes. Okay.
And you have the
But,
IPR sorted on this.
so we are in the process of filing. So we initially filed one IP that we no longer use. So we like trademark is there. We want to file another patent. So regarding that efficiency, so efficiency stands out, and we compare that efficiency compared to other antimicrobial products available in the market. Okay, but what hospital actually measures that you said is hospital acquired infections. But the problem is that in India, like there is HAIs are not getting surveilled well. So in Western countries, HAIs are measured and they have to publish that data and to the government portal. In India, it's still a work in progress. So so we do not, like when we go to the hospital, we do not say that this much HAIs we are going to reduce, because it's very difficult to track that. And there are a lot of other factors which are involved in that. So we say that this is an infection control tool, just like hand washing or hand hygiene. For example, if you want to measure that how much infection reduction is there in the hospital, in the case of hand hygiene, like it varies from like different wards to wards, right? Similarly, we pitch that this is the
So
basic
there are
hygiene thing.
So there are two aspects to it. In the I've done some World Bank studies on you know, infections and waste segregation and all of that stuff. You know, so there are two aspects to it. One is your medical equipment or your medical supplies, okay, and the other is the awareness built around it, the practices. So what is your product actually aiming at? Because you might have the most fantastic product, but if you don't have the correct awareness and product usage techniques, then it may not really help. But at the same time, I'm also saying that you're saying that there is no interface with bodily fluids, which is why it is an additional physical barrier, right?
Right.
So in which case, why should I even need to wash it? Suppose the washing is not proper.
Yeah, so there are two kinds of hospital supplies. First
Just
is
the
the
supplies
disposable.
and their practices, and both of them have to come together to be able to give you the desired result.
Right. So I know that education is one part that where we have to still work on, because when we introduce a new kind of a product into the market and the hospitals, and they are using a different kind of a protocol, right? Because they are used to the older product. When we introduce a new kind of product, but thankfully, like they do not have to change their behavior. For example, the drapes that we are selling, it's an additional functionality. It looks similar to the older drape, right? But it has additional capability that actually helps to prevent infections. So education part is like kind of sorted, but still we have to like pitch to individual surgeons and tell them the benefits of this product, right? And how it will actually help the patients as well as hospitals. Okay. So I hope that was the question, right?
A small suggestion. Yours is a touch and feel product. So maybe one or two visuals, one or two photographs will actually help in a presentation. Just a suggestion. It can go for others
Okay,
also.
sure. I will add photos next time. Yeah. And also, like, I have worked out the costing and all, because this is a B2B business, and we have worked out the margins and all. Because we are already in the pilot phase, so we have talked to individual HODs and the purchase departments and all. We have actually compared how we compete with other products, what kind of incentives are there, and what kind of like margins are there. So we have calculated that. I have not just presented here because like the different theme was there this week. Yeah, that's right. And regarding that competition, so like the 3M is there, of course, because it's a like a great company, great product, of course, but they are into just like one kind of a product, which is drapes, which comes under the category of antimicrobial hospital supplies. Okay. Other companies are like in the phase of growing. So there are other companies. For example, if you take hospital suppliers in India, they do not sell these antimicrobial hospital supplies. Okay, because the antimicrobial hospital supplies market is still evolving. So there are antimicrobial chemical suppliers, but it has not yet reached the hospital because the trust issues are there. The supply chain is very like fragmented and all. Yeah.
Okay. So Yati, I will just request you to pause here only in the interest of time, because I know there are two other people who are waiting here. I'd love to have an offline chat with you, if that's okay with Gautam Das. So yeah, thank you so much. That's a very interesting product, and best for your IP and trademark there. I think we have is Divya from Artivis, if she's there. I hope there were no other questions, because I just took up the majority of the time. Yeah. Can we hear you? We can't hear you right now.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so hope everyone can see my screen and hear me well.
Yes.
All right, great. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Divya Manjri from Redfind. Let me tell you about the time I had an important event and I wanted to look great. Among million of other things, I was busy shopping for the right dress and going through every site I could remember. After hours of filtering and scrolling, I settled for an average dress only to find it cheaper on another website later. As someone who has not just shopped online for years, but has literally built e-commerce site for living, if I'm struggling, think about the frustration of an average user. That's when I realized we needed Redfind. Our research showed that 70% of users juggle between sites, wasting a week on average to find what they need. With Redfind, we are reducing a week to less than a day using AI to connect customers with best products. Today, product discovery for fashion is changing rapidly. Consumers find it hard to discover products that they want among millions of products and thousands of online stores. At the same time, brands struggle to be visible to users, spending anywhere between 30 to 70% on customer acquisition. Redfind is the unifying platform, connecting most relevant customers to most relevant brands seamlessly. India's first platform of its kind, with 6 million products from over 100 stores, it offers one place to shop with easy price comparison across stores. Our intuitive search lets users find what they need easily and quickly with image search, semantic text search, and personalized results. We don't only make shopping easy, we make it fun and rewarding through our cashback rewards program, where users have earned up to 2,000 rupees in a single month. Redfind uses advanced AI to help online shoppers who want to simplify product search and discovery to find the best deals customized to their unique preferences by offering the most advanced product discovery platform, ensuring they never miss a better option, unlike current shopping alternatives and Google search. Redfind's ideal user is a tech-savvy online shopper somewhere between 18 to 45 years of age. They have a middle to high income, a strong interest in fashion, and they seek convenience, quality, and quality. Redfind is the perfect fit for small to medium-sized fashion retailers as our partners, emerging brands and marketplaces as well, looking to enhance their digital visibility and reduce customer acquisition costs. Ideal for those embracing innovative tech to improve customer interactions with actionable consumer insights. So Redfine stands out with its AI-driven shopping experience built for fashion. Search engines like Google Shopping have focused on broad product range optimized for masses. Fashion aggregators like List, ShopStyle, etc., who are our direct competitors, they're mostly focused on luxury fashion segment, and they do not have presence in India. Traditional platforms like marketplaces like Myntra, Ajio, etc., or brand stores like Nike or US Polo, they are the most common ways of discovery today. But it's a time-consuming process to hop from one store to another, and user misses out on better deals when they stick to one particular store. Personalization for fashion gives us an edge over traditional and social media platforms where product discovery is often generic and unfocused. We create value for our partner brands with cost-effective, targeted customer engagement and access to insights and AI-powered solutions like visual discovery, image tagging, and personalization. Thank you. And I would request everyone to try Redfine and share your valuable feedback. You can also reach out to me to enroll into our special cashback program for friends and family. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya. That was 4 minutes. So that's almost 5 minutes. Yeah. So quick, your platform is for quick search and your presentation was also very quick. So thank you for that. Sanjeev has a question here. Sanjeev?
Look, some questions, some comments, but Divya, your start is an example to lots of others on the call, right? That's what we tell people a good start can win a lot more eyeballs than anything else in a presentation. So I think kudos to you for making it a bit dramatic and linking it to your own experience kind of stuff, right? So that's one. Second, maybe it's my question is a bit early in the cycle. I'll be very intrigued to figure out what is your revenue model here. Okay, probably commissions from, that's my guess, commissions from the stores you are giving. But at the same time, that vis-a-vis a balance with customer thinking you are neutral, right? Today, I'll give you an example, and this is not a comment as a person in the cohort, but as a user of some of these marketplaces and all that. I seldom go to Amazon to search for a product. If I know a product, I will go and buy it on Amazon because, yeah, it's convenient, it probably at a price or whatever. But I know if I search for a product, I will get products which are advertised on Amazon or whatever. There is a vested interest of Amazon, AWS, to show me some products on the top, right? So that for a customer who becomes aware over a period of time, if they look at your platform, that you're earning more commissions or whatever, I don't know. Again, this is just a guess here. If you loses or you lose your credibility in the eye of customer, that could be a big challenge in this revenue model. So you'll have to figure out how do you maintain that neutrality. We'll come to the answers when you will come to revenue model. I don't want a response now. But
thanks a lot, Sanjeev, for the positive feedback too. And a lot of credit goes to my mentor, Rajiv, who has also spent a lot of time and helped, lock down the narrative and given very minute feedback to get me here. And coming to the second part, we will get more into depth into that. And we don't only have commission, but we have commission, ads, insights, and analytics for our brands and solutions for them as our revenue channels. So it's distributed. And your point is so valid. Actually, I mean, that tells me that that's a point I should add here in competition, that we have neutrality compared to other brands, other platforms, or search engines. You see, Google only shows you, only select stores. It doesn't show you all the stores. And what you see on the result page is those brands who are advertising and paying the highest bid for those keywords, right? So that's a great point, and I think that should go here, right? In the competition.
Neutrality, again, it's a perception. I mean, it's not a maths you can demonstrate to your customers. You'll have to see how you get that perception right in customers' eyes by his experience and whatever.
Yeah. So, but one point there is, see, Google doesn't show you all the stores. It's difficult to find. And that's where we are saying users can discover anything, any product, no matter whether they are, like, say, paying us for ads or not, whether we are getting commission from them or not. If you type something, black t-shirt will show you all black t-shirts and not from only select stores. And that's the perception we need to clarify for customers too.
Okay, thank you. I think there's Tirumala who has a question.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a small technical question in the sense in the previous slide, which is on the ICP. How do you define your customer? Are brands your customer or the end users are your customers?
Both are customers. I mean, see, users are customers because footfall means revenue for us, right? But customers, if you are talking about who do we get revenue from, then it's the brands.
So, I mean, shouldn't they be the center of everything for you? I mean,
brands, but they're nothing without the users on the platform.
I mean, I don't need an answer. All I'm saying is reflect on it.
Okay. Okay, sure. All right, thanks, Tirumala.
Rohit has a question here.
Yeah, couple of questions. Maybe we can just discuss it, or it's all interrelated. Once a customer is on your site and they figure out that this is the shirt that they want to buy, then what happens? Do you do order taking as well?
No.
Or then they have to
No.
go, okay.
Yeah, so we are thinking of us like Google for fashion, married to Stitch Fix. So
Yeah.
like say we personalize the search results, but we are a fashion search engine per se.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So you help to make the decision for the individual by providing information, pictures, whatever, about the comparison. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what happens if you? So will this really give the right answer to the customer? Because there is a lot of value in the ordering and delivery experience. Right, so the product may be best on the website, it may look best, or it may, it has the best quality or whatever, but behind that it takes 2 months to receive that product because it was never there in the inventory. It is made to, it depends on the person who is providing that product, right? So one of the things you have to think about is that will this give the satisfaction to the user that you are looking for, given all the ordering and logistics and payments, which are a very critical part of the overall customer experience.
Right. Yeah, so one of the
Just a
things
thought.
is,
I don't know the answer myself. I'm just asking.
yeah. So I can answer part of it, but that's a very good point actually to reflect for me also. But let's say as we evolve as a platform and mature, a few of the things that we'll bring in is, reviews for the stores itself and bringing all these, all this information at one place. So if you saw these are the 5 stores selling this, what is the review of each of these stores for return policy, for shipping on time, for payment, etc. So that will give assurance to users that, hey, this looks like more reliable. But if I want to order something for 200 rupees, I don't care much. But if it's something expensive, I want to make sure that this is a good store. And that's the value we can bring in.
Yeah, absolutely. So some points like these, can be thought about. The final point I had was on the specialization. So you're saying, I heard you say that if the user wants anything, they can come to my site and then I will show it to them. That is really, really massive. I mean, I think you have to probably you've already done that, and maybe I haven't seen the slides. I just joined 7-8 minutes ago.
Okay.
Some categories that you're focused on.
Yeah, so
Because
we are
otherwise it's
mostly,
a very wide canvas. Yeah.
yeah, so we are focused on fashion and beauty right now. So we
Okay.
got
Sorry.
products from fashion and beauty.
I
And
missed that. My bad.
yeah,
I missed that.
yeah. So,
So
and see, if you look at this, we are AI powered fashion search and discovery platform. And we are saying this is the key thing. How you discover fashion is very different from how you discover electronics. So one platform cannot even cater very well to both of these.
Yeah, no, I think the product category is very good because it's highly customized to an individual's preference, right? So it's not something that's subject to a standard way to put across, and so the product category is great here.
Okay.
So we are
Thank you.
13 minutes into this presentation, and Mohit has a question. So Mohit, can we make it a quick question, please?
I think I'll sync offline with Divya. Couple of
Sure.
feedback.
And yeah, so Mohit, and I think, e-commerce folks, probably we should have a huddle and we can figure out, any synergies. And I think there are 3 of us, right, in e-commerce space.
Yeah, we're not in e-commerce, but yeah,
Oh, yeah,
having
okay.
experience with
Okay.
Flipkart and search
Sure.
would be able to give you some feedback. Sure.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So, yeah. So we have Ravi waiting for quite some time. Ravi, are you?
Yes,
Can you
I'll just share my screen.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
Thank you, Divya. Thank you.
is it visible?
It is visible and you're audible. You can
Okay,
start.
great.
Yes.
Hello everyone. I'm representing Earth. We are most advanced air
Any
purification
better?
technology company, helping you breathe clean for better health in most cost-effective and convenient way. Because the problem is there are invisible contaminants in the air around us, which can get into our lungs and blood, will infect us and affect us. Yes, there are air purifiers available in the market, but the problem with air purifiers is they become a breeding ground for germs on continuous use. Also, we often forget to turn them on because air purifiers are non-habit forming. Because again, air quality is intangible and we lack trigger points to take any action. Solution is you upgrade your AC, which is already in your habit. So that is what we have done with high efficiency filters with low pressure drop and high pollution holding capacity with coating that can deactivate microorganisms. This is how our product looks like. A panel which sits on top like a crown for your AC. In 1 minute with no power connection required, you are protected against PM 2.5 and germs in the air. And this makes your AC more efficient by reducing maintenance because internal filter doesn't get choked. And proven technology from National Aerosol Facility, IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, etc. Value proposition, our Earth AC purifier helps homes in urban areas who want to breathe clean by reducing cost to purify air and avoiding inconvenience of using an air purifier, unlike conventional air purifier that cost around 5x and which we often forget to turn on. Benefits you get, you can eliminate 4 tablespoons of dust getting into your lungs in a span of 6 to 12 months. With improved air quality, you have better productivity and improved health. Competitive landscape, there are air purifiers which cost around 10,000 rupees with a good enough filter area which lasts around 12 months. But
Ravi, we seem to have
I can't hear you.
voice.
Ravi's lungs.
hello,
Huh.
hello.
We thought your lungs were
So
very pure and your voice would be nice and clear.
yes, but the electricity just went off. I don't know why.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll continue with my mobile internet.
Okay, go ahead.
Really sorry. And then with around 12 months of lifespan, but filters cannot destroy germs. And yes, there are EC filters which cost around 1/5 of our price. But again, just imagine the inconvenience that every month you have to take out leather, change the filters of your AC, which is again highly inconvenient, and people often try not to do that. And that's where, although we have 5x more higher price, but still people find it worth it with the lifespan of around 8 to 12 months. That's the second. Who is our ideal customer? People with ACs living in urban areas with their family. Who's our user? Vulnerable age groups, people with issues like asthma, allergies. It is a must-have for them. Good to have for a lot of people, but most of our sales have been happening for good to have. Who's our buyer? People in 30 to 50 age groups. and they make the decision for their kids and parents because they do purchase air purifier for them, which they never turn on. But once you integrate with ACs, our parents and our kids do know how to turn on ACs. Visionary customer living in an urban area with AC and aware of effects of air pollution on human health. Decision making unit, ultimate decision purchase of your product. People in again 30 to 50-year age group, they are the decision makers. We have seen male usually makes decision in our category. Advocating, these are influencers. It has worked for us, and then word of mouth has really helped us. Once you see the
30
benefit,
seconds.
right? And then who are influencers, AC service technicians, individual motivation, willingness to take preventive step for better health, which we find seldom in India. Product roadmap, we want to get clean air everywhere. That's the vision. We want to provide clean air everywhere. Currently, we have just one SKU, split AC. We want to go to window and cassette in particular, because they are really high in terms of number. But B2C customers, there are customer segment like immunocompromised patients, pulmonary patients, parental new parents, people living near red industries like which are highly polluting industries. For corporate, we have budget hotels, clinic research labs, banks, real estate developers, companies in industrial belts. And then B2B sales, AC servicing companies, AC company, big players, and AC company, local player. Both corporate and B2B, we have made almost zero sales. We have just made B2C sales, and that's where we are looking. So thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. So Rajiv has a question. Please go ahead, Rajiv.
Hi. Mine is more of a comment than a question. It's on this slide particular. But before that, so what is your product actually? It's a panel that you can fit on the.
Yes.
Do you have a
Yes,
picture?
this.
Okay. So how do you fit this on a split AC or a cassette?
This is just for split AC, sir. You just need to put it on top. It has double-sided magnetic tape. So one magnetic tape you put on top of your AC, and one magnetic tape is stick with our panel. So that's how the sticking mechanism. We just
Okay,
put it on top like a cap.
Okay, so what is the cost of this panel?
2,200 right now on Amazon.
That is a filter, right?
Yes.
Or the whole total? You're talking about the
Total panel.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so then you need to change the comparative thing over
The
there,
filter.
because you mentioned only filter. So that is something that you need to change, because when you
Right.
compare a filter to filter, the cost is different, right? So that is something that you need to. You have a good market, but I believe your bigger market would be to tie up with AC manufacturers.
Yes, sir. We are in touch with
and in particular HVAC companies. All right, the companies that make the vertical the ACs.
Yes.
What do you call the split AC, right?
Right. Yes, sir. That's
So
where
rather
we are
than
bad.
So I think in this cohort, as part of the cohort, you'll find people who can take you to these places. But that is your biggest market.
Yeah.
And OEM would be your biggest market, because you have such a huge market out there, and you alone cannot service it. You should look at also franchising your license to your IP
Right.
to other companies. That
Yes.
is one thing. Otherwise, I believe this has a huge market out there. There would be a barrier to the market because you're new. Once you get it, very validated by a manufacturer or even a company, HVAC company, which sets up, which designs and sets up your AC system for buildings, right? Hotels and IT companies. That is where you can actually get a kick in your marketing system.
Right. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much for these inputs, sir.
Thanks for that. So Ravi, I have about 3-4 points out here. Okay, I'm putting on my environmentalist's hat out here.
Uh-huh.
I need to understand what we mean by air purification. Okay, because there is what we see now is SPM, and what you're offering is microbes. So is
No,
it
SPM and microbes.
microbes, and it is also a function of temperature. Okay, both of them are functions of temperature, and there are other aspects of, you know, what are the pollutants present in the air. So I think maybe I'm missing on this, but I'm not able to understand what as precise aspect of air pollution are you really targeting. That is one question, and maybe you can give it later on. That's fine. We can even discuss offline, because I know that there are some other questions also. People have raised their hands, and then we are also short on time. The second point is that, you know, we are talking about people who have ACs. Now, people who have ACs, why would you like to put it in the mid-market segment in terms of, you know, your value or your cost proposition? Because if these people who can afford ACs, can't they afford air purifiers? I mean, just think about that. Especially people who are, if you're looking at immunocompromised, if you're looking at vulnerable people, population, if you're looking at children, you know, parents would like to, they're paying so much in school fees, why can't they pay 5 times in terms of air purifier? Okay, that's another point. A third point is around what about, say, central air conditioning? Can this also get into central air conditioning?
This particular cannot, but yes, we are developing things and we have done successful pilots.
Okay. And then, yes. And then how does it, if I'm just keeping my questions short, and I'll just give it a think, we can discuss offline next time, whatever. And the other is, like, if you look at the, you know, recent car purchases, for instance, a Kia would, in their ACs, they already have an air purifier. They also tell you what is the SPM of your car at any point of time. How does this differ from, you know, such air purifiers which are available in the market already and people have access to? Okay. And finally, just thinking that, you know, maybe if your product is really good, you can go with Faviosis to hospitals and say one will provide Favio and the other will provide the air purifiers, and we can see how it.
Right. We are already in touch.
Synergy. Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right.
We had a call this afternoon.
Okay, wonderful. So there are 2 people who have raised their hands, Sanjeev and Gautam. Please, either one of you, whoever wants to go first. Sanjeev, would you like to go first?
Gautam, you go.
Okay. So, Ravi, thank you for this presentation. And I think, I don't know whether I have met you before, but I'm aware of this product. So the
Professor Amitabh Bandyopadhyay.
Yes, we did. So couple of comments I have, and if you can go back to the last slide.
Yes.
See, yes, this one. So, you know, this is where I think you need to do a little bit of thinking, because when you say that you have a product and it is not a filter, it's an end product, right? Which you said it can be fitted in 1 minute.
Yes.
So one of the things is, then it is a B2C product.
Yes.
So if it is then it's a B2C product. But then the biggest market where the ACs will have, and I think Raja mentioned, I can't remember, somebody mentioned a little ago.
Yes,
That it is the AC manufacturers. So that is a big market. So you need to actually be clear that whom will you target first, because B2C target has another strategy, B2B strategy target has another strategy. So that is one thing to be thought about. The other thing is, if you are saying that it is a B2C, then you need to make it, I mean, I would just think that it will be a little, you have to think about the distribution channel. Let me just put it like that. And so that you have to do a little work on that. And if it is B2B, then you have to get into the specifications, the HVAC consultants. There are HVAC consultants who will help you with that, along with the HVAC manufacturers. And so that's another one. The third point, I think, is there was some discussion about you licensing the technology, but I guess even if you don't license the technology, you can become the supplier of the filter to other air purifier manufacturers. I don't know if they can use the same filter, but if they can, so think about those things. And to answer Mona's comment, I think we did evaluate in our hospital, but hospitals are very conservative, Mona. Nobody will do anything till you have data, trials, etc., etc. So hospital is a little tough sale compared to the other segments. That's just my initial thought, but we'll see.
Thank you, sir.
I had one or two questions and one comment here. First one is, do you have a IP for your technology or something? Because look,
Yeah, there are two things, sir. One is the coating that we do that we have developed with IIC Bangalore Material Science Department. So that is one. We have licensed it exclusive for 15 years. So that is one on the filters. And
they have
second is,
filed a technology IP for it and all that.
yes. And second is the utility patent of this panel that I showed you, like how it can attach, right, as a retrofit to existing AC and then start giving clean air. So yes, we have two patents in one product.
Now, both Rajiv and Gautam has spoken about it. So look, if B2B is a larger volumes play and a channel to develop, yeah, the other thing which would be very interesting to see as we move forward is how do you manufacture it? What's your manufacturing setup? Is it outsourced? How will you scale if needed? And those kind of stuffs, right? The product has tremendous potential, and that is why I'm keen to understand how much you've thought about how it can be scaled if needed, right? Because one is creating sales muscle and another is figuring out how will I manage my backend if the sales happen, right? The last point is more on the lighter side, and maybe the question is valid or invalid. I stay in northern part of India, right? And the month of November to January or November, December are bad. So yeah, a very big customer for you. But then I also wonder is, I don't use my AC at that point of time. So how do I use it for air purification?
Right. So any air purifier is a body, a fan, and a filter. Your AC has a body and a fan. You just need right configuration of filter in fan mode. So your AC has a fan mode, sir, where it doesn't use the compressor.
And running cost wise, it will make sense.
Yes, 30 watts, as good as your ceiling fan, sir. 30 watts.
Your competition is an air purifier. So just look at it from that perspective. To sell it to folks in Delhi, right? So
yes.
Sanjeev, we use the ACs in winters also. Vatika provides for that, isn't it?
No,
the central air conditioning.
Not every consumer in northern part of India will have heating built in his AC, right? People usually use heaters. So I'm not looking at what our society, I'm looking at consumers in general in northern part of India.
Right, sir. वो fan mode से आप चलाओगे तो it is as good as an air purifier.
All I'm saying is, as long as that data holds in terms of operational cost, apart from captive one-time capital cost, then it really makes sense.
So that's the point I had. What aspect of air pollution is it really targeting? Because we are using interchangeably. We're using microbes. We are using AQI. We are using other aspects. So we need to be very specific on that. At least I don't have the clarity.
Right. So there are two aspects, ma'am. One is particulate matter, germs, or dust. Everything comes under particulate matter, and then there are gases, two pollutants, particulate matter, gases. We do have for gases, you can use activated carbon filter. We don't give right now. We can provide that as an option. But in terms of particulate matter, we kind of completely cater to that as of now.
Okay.
Viable, non-viable particulate matter.
Got it.
Ravi, one more small comment I have. See, there is a big market out there for clean rooms and sterilized rooms.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. So where the air has to be contained in a specific quality. Right. You
Right.
could, if you are able to achieve that quality, then the market is yours. There are a lot of people trying to enter that market. They're not being successful. So they basically what they do is they create a contraption outside which
Yes.
filters the air and sends it, and it's very expensive, right?
Correct. Exactly.
Here,
So work.
here you may need to modify your product to add maybe
Yeah.
ultraviolet and all those things, but that's a huge market.
Yes, it is, sir. The problem that we are facing, we are selling almost 2,500 to 3,000 units monthly. Uh, the problem we are right now facing is with working capital. We recently got one order from Maharashtra government of 15 lakhs, and then one industry from our website order around 500 units, 13 lakhs का. अब हमारे पास पैसे ही नहीं है in terms of working capital, and that's where we are also raising a small bridge round. To details I shared with Tirumala sir, so maybe he can
Yeah,
share with others.
why don't we do one thing? Let's take this offline. I would suggest you don't raise a bridge round now. Okay, instead of that, go for a strategic partnership with either a large OEM manufacturer or a AC manufacturer. Okay, especially the ones that make the tower ACs.
Okay, right.
The one that you have in building, the central, what you call central air conditioning system.
Yes.
So those are the guys whom you need to reach out. You should tell them that you will be able to create a new design which would fit their requirement. Okay, so
Right.
they have a very complicated system. If you look at the AC design,
Yeah.
and that is something that you could look at. That is one thing. Second is that you guys got certificate, the air
Testing
certified, right?
validation.
All that is there.
Validation, yes. Yeah. Even
Okay.
nanoparticles we have validation for.
Everything. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
The other thing that you need to check out is the capacity of your filters and your system to withstand large intake of dust and smoke.
Right.
Okay, because there's some areas, where let's say the Middle East or some places where there's quite a lot of dust coming. Even in India, in many places there's a lot of dust particles in the air. It's not just suspended particles, but these are larger quantity. You need to maybe check out, validate. For that, you may have to talk to AC manufacturers.
And you are right. We can do more of it. But technically we are really sound, I feel. But marketing
Okay,
wise, not
good.
bad. I've done
Yeah.
sir masters from IT Bombay in aerosol science as a specialization. So
Good.
I've gone through this. I've been breathing this
Good. That's good. That's good to
since
hear.
2018.
Maybe we'll have a talk later on when
Yes.
Tirumala permits. So we'll do that.
Ravi,
Thank
just
you.
one question. You said working capital is a problem. So is receivables a problem or inventory a problem?
Sir, inventory a problem. अभी दोनों ही problem है वैसे तो.
ठीक
But
है.
inventory.
Again, we will discuss offline with your kind of buyers, which I presume is predominantly Amazon at this point of time.
Yes.
The
Yes.
receivables can be financed easily in the market nowadays.
सर उनको कैश इन बैंक चाहिए ना, वो डेट फंडिंग एनबीएफसी से लेना तो सही है, बट कैश इन बैंक नहीं दिखता है उनको, तो फिर अभी हमारा मतलब 1-2 लाख
Let's
का बहुत
discuss
चल रहा है.
that. When a
Yes.
friend of mine that runs this factoring service and all that, I don't know if it works. We'll discuss.
Yes, done, sir. I'll be in touch.
Okay.
I think
Thank
Rohit
you.
had a question. Rohit, do you still want to ask that question?
I just thought that maybe there already a lot of. Is this the last?
It
startups?
is.
Okay, so then maybe we can. So I think this is a great price point. Yeah. So then maybe I can continue with my question. So I think it's a great price point. You got on the one hand products which are, I think 10,000 is a low estimate. Air purifiers are much higher on that. And on the other hand, you've got this, charcoal and some of the very simple things which are 50, 100. So, this price point is great. The question is that in terms of competition, why can't the AC manufacturers do it themselves? That's one question.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying you have to answer that question. I think your
No, I know the
competition
answer,
will
sir.
come from there because they can add revenue to their system. It's very easy for them to manufacture.
Right.
They have manufacturing facilities. They just plug it into
Yeah.
their AC and so on. And the other question is that does a family that can afford, say, maybe one or more ACs can also afford an air purifier? So, is that the right segment in that sense to look at?
Right.
Or is it that you can will you kind of saturate your market there because those folks can also afford a air purifier, so they may not take your product from that point of view. Just a couple of thoughts on the market side. That's it.
Right. So I'll just take your point, sir. One is like affordability. It is not about affordability. It's about convenience. We are providing them convenience. आप खरीद लेते हो एयर प्योरीफायर irrespective of your purchasing power. आप भूल जाते हो लगाना. मैं मैग्नोलियाज में भी गया हूँ, कैमेलियाज में भी गया हूँ सर. सब जितने भी बड़े बड़े हो सकते हैं richest of the people, and I'm sure you guys
I am
might
a
be
living
using it.
example of that. I forget to switch on the air purifier
Exactly.
about 15 nights in a
Exactly.
month. Yeah.
Exactly, sir. So people do purchase air purifier, but out of 12 months, hardly they use it for 2 months, only when there are trigger points about air pollution from media. So convenience is something that we are selling. We are saying कि अभी आपका AC is incomplete. Complete your AC with AC air purifier so that you can get clean air. 8 घंटे जब आप सो रहे हो तब तो मिलेगा out of 24 hours so that your lungs can rest. So we want to be associated with ACs because 5 से 10 लाख एयर प्योरीफायर बिकते हैं. 1 करोड़ से ज्यादा एसीज बिकते हैं. 5 से 7 करोड़ के आसपास एसीज हैं जिनको हम अपग्रेड कर सकते हैं. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू एम फॉर. सो अफोर्डेबिलिटी डेफिनेटली इज नॉट समथिंग दैट वी आर एट ऑल आइंग फॉर. एंड सेकंड सर, क्यों बड़ा ब्रांड नहीं कर सकता? सो वी आर इन टच विद वोल्टास, हायर, आईएफबी, अभी गोवा में फैक्ट्री बना रहे हैं वो, एलजी. तो टू एस्पेक्ट्स. वन इज सर उनको एरोसोल साइंस की नॉलेज नहीं है इतनी, बट अगर वो कॉपी कर लेंगे तो एक तो इन्फ्रिंजमेंट हो जाता है. वोल्टास ने ऑलरेडी हेपा फिल्टर के साथ अपना एयर प्योरीफायर निकाला.
Correct.
प्रॉब्लम उनको वही आया कि वन इज प्राइस पॉइंट. जैसे आईफोन 1 लाख और दूसरा 1,02,000 का नहीं हो सकता, वैसे ही 2,000 पे तो नहीं खेल सकते सर, उससे ज़्यादा तो वो डिस्काउंट ही देता है. राइट. सो उनका जो एसी था वो 30,000 का, उसको वो हेपा फिल्टर लगा के कर दिया 60 का. उसके बाद डिस्काउंट देके कर दिया 45 का. तो 15,000 का आप पे कर रहे हो जस्ट टू गेट दोज हेपा फिल्टर, प्लस एनर्जी रेटिंग ऑफ दैट एसी इज लोअर. एंड ऑल दिस आई गॉट टू नो फ्रॉम वोल्टास टीम, क्योंकि हम उनका साथ डिस्कशन हुआ था. सो वहां से हमें पता लगा था ये चीज़ें. सो प्राइसिंग एंड देन रेटिंग, एनर्जी रेटिंग, बोथ दीज एस्पेक्ट्स.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's a very greatly priced product if you can make profit on this. But there are many
अभी
segments. So if there one is this your Magnolia segment, I think you're right that they are actually a small segment. I think the
राइट.
place where you can really take it is in the mid segment, because for their price sensitive, they'll think about buying whether they should buy the air purifier or not. They can't afford it. 30,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees is difficult for them to afford. The guys who are at the upper end, they can afford everything. So,
या
so their convenience factor is there, but
सर
they have
मैं
enough house help and support at home
राइट.
to
सो
do this. So it's your mid segment, which I think is very
या
attractive because for them that difference in price matters,
करेक्ट सर.
and
मैग्नोलियाज में हम
they have a need, or they have equal need to breathe clean air. Sorry, yeah,
एग्जैक्टली
just a comment here. Yeah,
राइट, मैग्नोलियाज में वी आर अपग्रेडिंग देयर टीएफए सिस्टम सो दैट दे कैन गेट क्लीन एयर एज अ सेंट्रल एयर प्यूरिफायर, अपग्रेडिंग
that is a
देयर.
different segment. Yeah, that's a different
करेक्ट.
product altogether,
बट
right? Yeah, the
ऑल्सो अ
one that
नीश.
you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
सो
yeah,
उनको नीश चाहिए सर, तो नीश भी वी कैन प्रोवाइड. वी आर वर्किंग ऑन दैट एंड सीइंग कि व्हाट अदर रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स वी कैन ऐड.
yeah. Absolutely.
So
No, that's great.
that's a very big growing segment. Again, like a B2B, you need to go to builders or their operating agencies and things like that rather than a direct
Right.
consumer. So
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, it's a huge market. I agree with that.
So I'll share our balance sheets and MIS. Please do help working capital.
no, we'll
And
discuss
then
the timeline
definitely.
again. I may be jumping also. Let me understand the full
Yeah.
situation
Please.
before I take it to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is most of your sales happening through Amazon, or is it through institutional like DLF and so on?
No, zero institutional, sir. Almost.
Okay. Because the
Yeah.
institutional guys will fund you, right? So, for example, if a builder or a contractor or a hospital finds that this is very good, so they will like give you 50%
सभी वी
advance.
ट्राइड दैट, बट 5 लाख के ऑर्डर के लिए वो 5 महीने घुमाते हैं हमें। तो फिर हमने सोचा कि अमेजोन से ही हम 5 लाख
No,
2-3
so
दिन में ही
that's
कमा
fine.
सकते
That's
हैं।
the reality of the business, that institutional is taking more time. But yeah, so you need working capital financing. Why are your inventories high? Or
इन्वेंट्री
what inventories are high? The finished goods or?
सर इन्वेंट्री तो हाई नहीं, वी आर वेरी लीन इन टर्म्स ऑफ दैट। अभी
आपने
हम
कहा ना कि वर्किंग कैपिटल प्रॉब्लम इज बोथ
हाँ,
बिकॉज
तो
रिसीवेबल्स एंड इन्वेंटरी।
अब सर मेरे को 5,000 यूनिट बनाने पड़ते हैं, तो अभी ऑलमोस्ट 700 का कॉग्स है, जीपी हमारा 56% के आसपास चल रहा है। तो 700 के लिए मेरे को 6,000 बनाए तो 45 लैक्स चाहिए। तो पहले जब 5-10 लाख का हमारा वो चल रहा था रेवेन्यू, उस टाइम पे तो ठीक है, पैसे नहीं दिए, सैलरी नहीं दी तो हो जाता था, बट अभी 45 लैक्स किधर से लेके आए? तो एकदम से 45 लैक्स 50 लैक्स का चाहिए होता है एकदम, जैसे ही हमको क्योंकि अब 5-5 हज़ार के लॉट में ही बनाना पड़ता है, तभी वेंडर के लिए इट मेक सेंस। तभी उन्होंने
Understood.
You need to get into
Probably
detail.
an EOQ problem. Let's discuss this offline to
Yeah,
figure
yeah.
out the situation.
Seems to be a different problem. And your pricing is so conservative right now, you could make your price 3,000, 3,500 rupees and it'll still sell in the same this thing, because the price difference is huge with a full-fledged product.
राइट, यस सर, वी कैन डिस्कस एंड डू सम एक्सपेरिमेंट्स।
Yeah.
All right. I hope there are no other questions. We are 3 minutes short of the 8:30 mark, but we are also 3 startups that did not participate today. So any final questions? No? Is Anjanda there? Any final comments, Anjanda?
No, nothing. I think probably today I did feel that the preparation needed to be done a little bit more by all the startups. That's one. Second is I think we also need to tweak up our curriculum, which is there from our side. So anything which startups would like to tell us. I'm not seeing many of them. Again, like last week, a lot of them have dropped out in the middle. That's a sad part. I think let me know how we can help in keeping them all through the session. The mentors are there, we are there, but startups are not there. Maybe mentors just have a word with your startups also on this.
Anjanda, can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things is we are all early stage startup and there are always fires going on. So let's say while I have been in this call, I am getting messages. Let's say there is a message from a team member saying, I want to resign. Or we see that site went down, or we see that something, there is
I
a
understand that.
security attack. So those things will happen, but probably a process, or let's say inform or have a backup and communicating that with each of the startups would be helpful. And we also feel that, hey, we present our part and then we can listen to the recordings to understand what others did. Otherwise, like say, we always weigh what is the value add I'm going to get here for which I'm giving up something else.
That's exactly why I'm not putting in the recordings on. Though the recordings have been done, they're still there with me.
Yeah, but let's say if we sit through 2 hours, I mean, that's a question we'll have. 2 hours is a really long time, right? To stay focused on this. People have their meetings, prior commitments, and they're trying to juggle.
I think, Divya, I don't want to justify on this point. This is not the first cohort we are doing, but this is the first cohort where I'm seeing a huge amount of dropouts. That's why my comment is. Okay, we have had 40, 45 startups who've gone through at least 4 of our cohorts. And this is a matter of discipline. Please don't get me into that defensive or an offensive mode on this.
So all
I do
Anjanda,
understand that. I do understand
yes,
that, but I'm not going to compromise on that point. Let me
I
put that very
totally,
clearly.
yeah, I totally understand understand that, Anjana. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. my time and I sit through 2 hours. I get the value. I'm saying
Right.
everyone needs to understand the value that they'll get out of this.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, so maybe call them all and say, this is the value you're going to
Let me,
get.
I get your point. What I'll probably do is I'll have to call them up one by one and talk to them. And if mentors can help, and when you're speaking to your startups, that will be a great value addition. Okay. Anyway, I think I don't have anything else to say.
If I may
Thanks so
add,
much.
if I may add here, I think the stoppage point or whatever milestone point we will hit in the next session, which is the PMF, product market fit, right? I mean, by next session, if we are seeing those indicators for product market fit or whatever are the trends, then it's a good segue to the future sessions, right? Otherwise, I mean, we have to go back to the fundamentals and check, are we segmenting the market right? Are we segmenting the customers right? Are we prioritizing the right critical customers? Right?
Yes.
And then build on the competition and everything. So we are in the early stages. The moment, I mean, for each of us, for each founder, it's an introspection time to really evaluate, are the dynamics of product market fit, are you seeing them by coming week, right? I mean, if that is not exciting for you, if that is not worth time investing, I mean, what else could be for a founder, right?
Agreed. If we are not being able to add that value, maybe we need to introspect from our side also.
So just 2 more minutes, Anjanda. Look, first of all, I think I was just trying to count. We probably have everybody who presented today. So we getting agitated on something which is not an issue today, right? We had 8 presentation in my opinion, and 8 of them are here. Some of them not on camera, but they are here. And second thing, Divya, look, this toss up between do I get anything more after my presentation? And I'm not saying you are making that comment. You are probably trying to represent everyone else's issue at mind. Is that sitting here a lot of times we also may not come up with a solution or a pointer which is in your presentation. It could come up in somebody else's presentation.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
similarly, you said, let's all e-commerce, all of us in e-commerce get together and do this discussion. The whole idea of having everyone in the same stuff. And again, one of your questions was, can I participate in the US cohort? Look, at one point of time, US cohort used to run face-to-face. So there was no luxury to get out of the room after 15 minutes. Right? It's only the virtual world which is giving us all this convenience. But then people used to love that face-to-face because the network effect of it was so much. So all we are saying is you're staying here is for the network effect and the learning from others. May realize it now. And the other thing which usually happens in this cohort, I would see that trend. 20-25% of the people are only focused on when will be the demo day and I present in front of investors. And I think most of the startups who present on demo day are actually not ready to get funding straight away. Being early stage startups, a lot of those guys will not fund you. But this grill of 16 weeks will get you funding maybe 6 months, 1 year down the line. And I see that our previous alumni, a lot of them, they were disappointed on demo day because they didn't get more than 2 or 3 hearings. But then 6 months down the line, they are all getting funding.
And I totally agree with that. And I'm saying that I'm here because I see the value. I've learned so much from others' presentation. There is a point that comes up in someone else's present. I get that. But what I'm saying is the startups who are not here, they need to see the value. And you can say, I mean, it could also be, hey, you're not present for 3 weeks continuously or 2 weeks continuously, drop off. So if the message is not going through, probably, or figure out this is the value add.
More worried, Divya, for today, I think we have full attendance from start to end. I'm more worried about folks who have a last minute challenge and drop out. Well, I can understand it will happen, but today I was a bit disappointed with 3 or 4 of them dropping out. That's more than usual averages. So we'll have to figure out how to handle that, because again, missing out is their loss and a mentor's loss, because he would have definitely spent time with them.
Agreed.
Sanjay ji, just one point I want